Dingoes, I hope you're doing well. Today we will be exploring in-depth, comprehensive review with a price prediction at the end. So make sure you stay tuned of Rari Capital and RGT, their governance token, and their future potential, their tech, my concerns with the protocol, and everything in depth. So by the end, you should have a full comprehensive understanding of RGT and Rari Capital and what they plan to do in the future. So make sure you stay tuned and let's learn together. Let's just jump right into it. First, let's quickly go over some tokenomics and current market cap and price action. So market cap is currently sitting at 27 million. Circulating supply is almost 8 million and total is 9.5 approximately. So that's nice to see. Low future inflation, which is nice to see. It's very different. A lot of protocols nowadays has a lot of inflation in the future, right? So that's nice to see for Rari Capital for sure. Market cap over total value ratio is 1.88. So their market cap is bigger than total under management, right? I think total under management for them is 14-15 million if I remember correctly, but it's nice to see it. I think in my head a fair valuation is around 1. So, but do I think Rari Governance or Rari Capital has a lot of future potential which could increase assets under management significantly in the near future? Yes. So I mean, it's give and take, right? I think it might be, as objectively right now, it might be a little overvalued, but in the near future, it might be significantly undervalued. I want to point that out right now. Obviously, everything is it's pretty speculative in the crypto market right now. Another thing I want to point out, last 30 days up 700%. So that's a pretty big price appreciation in a short amount of time. So keep that in mind. If you get in now, market cap to total value ratio is above 1, which in my head is fair value, even though that's totally subjective. Remember that. But let's just jump right into their UI quickly. This is just their main interface. They have, I like this tab a lot, risks. And not a lot of protocols have a risks tab, which is nice to see. And now let's go into their pools, because they currently have 3 pools. They have a stable, yield, and ETH pool. Stable is 14.6, yield is 12.2, and ETH is currently sitting at 0.33. So not the best APYs in the industry, but I do think they will have better automated strategy once they get a couple things moving in the future here. They are a very new project, young and ambitious team, so I do think they will definitely implement some new tech that I will point out here shortly. But also, one thing I do want to say is these pools are generating a significant amount of fees. And what I like about fees is, when I think of Ethereum now, I think of Ethereum as a country, a digital country, that these protocols are kind of like businesses generating tangible cash flows. And that's what you want to see when owning a governance token, is the protocol generating cash flows, right? Tangible cash flows. And I think to date they generated about 150,000 or 160,000 in cash flows. So that's extremely significant, and that's what you want to see when you are purchasing a governance token, is them generating cash flows, because that means you could potentially, you're kind of governing a business to an extent, a digital business. So that's what you want to look for, and Rari provides that, right? So stable pool, 17.5% of the profits goes to the fees, and yield is 12.5, and then there's a withdrawal, and ETH is 17.5. So there you go. Obviously, governance can vote to change these, and maybe that will help assets under management if they change these a little bit and get that APY up. Now let's go into one other thing that I noticed that was pretty interesting, is these fees. Being a DeFi focused team and spending all day long interacting with crypto veterans, the Rari Capital team believes in supporting foundations and support communities in need. Currently, the Rari Capital core team will be donating equally fee towards 3 charities, but this could decentralized as the DAO matures. So that, I do like to see that. So half the fees are going to charities, and hopefully that is decentralized as the DAO matures. This is a very young project. which means majority of it is handled centrally and it's centralized, which is fine to start with as long as they in the future aim and make it a priority to decentralize all their decision and automate all their strategies, etc., which I do think they're planning on doing. Just whether they make it a priority or not, and that's key right there. And now let's go into some tech. Their first tech is their integration with Moonpay. One vector that I like them exploiting to a large degree is they're trying to make it easy on ramp for retail. They're targeting the retail market, the people that don't know anything about DeFi, and having an easy ramp directly into Rari Capital. Oh, hey, you can earn 20% on your US dollars. Do these couple steps, put it in this pool, and now you're earning 20%. And that's what they're trying to do. They already started an ad campaign for that, and they integrated Moonpay, which is a direct to consumer integration. You buy crypto directly from it, which therefore you can deposit directly in the pool, and this is actually already a feature on their interface, and you can go check that out if you want. And that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out in the future, especially if it's successful and they see significant onboarding of just retail market, which is very interesting. And now let's go into some of their actual tech. And before, I want to go over tanks and fuses are their main future tech, and we'll discuss those in depth, and hopefully we can understand it. There's not much information on it as of now because they're keeping it behind closed doors, because everything is pretty open source and a free market in crypto. So once you come out with something, it's taken off the market real quickly, like the idea is, right? So let's just go ahead and let's learn about fuses first. This is Jay is the CEO right here, young ambitious guy, very smart, from California. I believe this is the co-founder right here. But let's listen to what he explains his fuse quickly but very vaguely. Let's listen to what he has to say about it.
Something that I'm sure anybody who follows us on Twitter has heard of, and I'm sure that you guys don't even know what it is. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of details about it, and I'm happy to answer any questions at the end. I will say a lot of the details are still being kept internally only because of the current market environment, but I'm really excited to start sharing it. And just zooming out, essentially what Fuse is it's a custom money market deployer. So Compound, Aave, all these guys have done amazing things for the entire ecosystem, but the thing is it limits a lot of the innovation, and the innovation is inhibited because of the limitations of assets listed on the platform. And it's understandable because they need to keep everything safe because all of the money's in one pool. And the innovation behind Fuse is, what if we split the money up into different pools? What if we split the assets up into different pools? What if we enabled anybody to be able to start their own money market with whatever assets they want, with whatever interest rate curves they want, on using whatever parameters they want, and really give the people the power to make their own compounds or Aaves or money markets in general. And the cool thing about this is it basically creates an entirely new DeFi primitive, and something that the ecosystem has never been able to experiment with before. And it honestly does a lot of cool shit that I'm hoping that we can share shortly.
What I like him saying a lot is DeFi primitive, because if Fuse is successful and individuals or other protocols make niche money markets on Fuse, then Fuse will essentially be a financial primitive in the Web3 architecture. And that will be very nice to see, which is very exciting. Very niche money markets is cool, even could be maybe integrated with somebody, say a creator token or something like that. I mean, it's very, very weird to think about. Obviously, using it would make you better able to visualize exactly how it works. But they did give a little sneak peek. I believe this was yesterday. Yeah, this was yesterday. And here's a little peek, but I don't really understand what I'm looking at to an extent. I mean, supply rate, borrow limit used, it seems just like an average pool. But maybe if you have any information or any elaboration on what this is supposed to be a little teaser on Fuse, but it seems it's just a normal pool, but it has specific niche interest rates slash bonding curves, etc., etc. I mean, you can maybe play around it with a little more, but the thing I want to talk about is tanks, because tanks are basically, let's Jay explain it again, because I think he'll do a better job than I am going to. So let's listen to him about tanks.
Next is tanks. Again, this is something that we've alluded to a lot all over Twitter and everywhere. At a very high level, what tanks are is it's a system that enables you to borrow or to lend assets and then borrow another asset and then be able to maintain a certain collateral ratio. This is going to be used on top of Fuse initially. And what it's going to enable is basically, let's say you have Bitcoin, you don't want to lose your Bitcoin exposure. You're able to instantly deposit your Bitcoin into a tank and then borrow US dollars, which will then be deployed into the Rari stable pool or the Rari yield pool or anything. And it's going to be really cool because suddenly you don't lose price exposure, you earn immense yields, and you can choose which assets you want to use it against. And
so simply, I kind of imagine it as a auto rebalance collateral position against a loan, so you don't ever liquidate, or that's your hope at least. And that's kind of what I'm understanding, and it's built on Fuse originally. So I mean, hopefully this helps you. This is kind of all the information on it. I've looked a lot into it, but hopefully in the near future they will come out with more information on it. But that one thing I also want to point out before we go into the team is another tech part is they're really focused on building on layer 2. They made a concerted effort to be the first mover in optimistic testnet in March. We'll see how that goes, as well as, I mean, the reason why they're so gung-ho on layer 2 is because they are advertising to the retail market, and if they can directly on-ramp the retail market into Rari Capital through Moonpay or other onboarding ramps and directly into a layer 2 solution, which decreases gas significantly, I mean, that's their route. That's their vector of attack right there, is get retail, go through a Moonpay, and do a layer 2 solution directly into Rari Capital pools. I think that's their go-to. Hopefully it succeeds for them. Obviously, when E2 is implemented or layer 2 becomes, the network effect becomes substantial, you could see just natural adoption for Rari. But I think they're going in the right direction. They have a goal, and that is the retail demographic. So hopefully it works out for them. Now let's go into their team, because I think it's very impressive. They're young, ambitious, very motivated. Seems like I watched all these and they seem very motivated. Read several articles, and their Discord is very active. Now let's go into their team. Ja is the co-founder. He's the CEO. Says on his Twitter. Jack is the co-founder. Justin, he seems like a pretty bright guy for sure. And that's about all I listen to for the most part. Maybe a couple others, but yeah, seems like a pretty bright team. Jay, Los Angeles. He made a wallet. He made a wallet and sold it while he was in high school, I believe. So he has had a significant background in crypto, and I think he's one of the people that everything he does, he talks the talk and walks the walk, you know. And I don't know much about Jack, but I mean, he's the co-founder. Seems like Jay trusts him a lot. I mean, when you buy into a project, know the developers, because those are the people that are going to make or break a project. So learn about them. It might be weird, might be stalkerish, but that's what you got to do if you're investing your money into the project, right? Listen to them. If you agree with their motivations and their character, that might be a sign that it's a good investment for your capital. This is all stuff you should do if you're long-term holding a project, right? And I will just come clean and say I do hold some Rari Capital RGT, because I think I've had it for a while now, but yeah, I do hold some. It has grown significantly, so now it's a bigger percentage of my portfolio, but it's still not very much, right? So, but I do want to say, everything I've looked into, I'm pretty convinced that it is a good project. It has good legs, has good developers, community, tech, vector angles, good stuff. I like it a lot. Now let's go into my summaries real quick and my price prediction. So financial primitive for innovative and niche money markets. I think that is their niche, as well as pools, yield pools, etc., interest rate pools, and strategic pools. So imagine you are a VC, a venture capital, because that's what the crypto industry allows you to do, is be a venture capitalist. There's no accredited investor rules, etc., etc. You can invest in startups all you want. It's easy, right? So total fees generated. I'm almost positive this is since inception and not since. This was on the weekly report, but I doubt that's 1 week in fees, right? I don't think that's 1 week in fees, but maybe it is, but I don't think so. And then keynotes, team young and ambitious. There's pros and cons to it. Mobile app. They are creating a mobile app to on-ramp retail straight to Rari Capital for high yield, which is very cool. I like SnowSwap is doing a similar thing, and you can see what happened to their price recently, right? Cash flows, fees generated on yield, and I love that because it plays into my digital country narrative with Ethereum and creating a GDP for Ethereum, which is pretty cool. And hopefully, maybe eventually, as a governance token holder, you will be rewarded in some of these cash flows. Next is partnership with Enzyme and Saffron. Saffron, I have to look more into Saffron. I believe it's some type of bond protocol, but that is all I know about Saffron. Incubation program, bring devs to create new strategies, which is nice. Fees associated with this new strategy that's created will be given directly to the dev, I believe, that creates that strategy. I believe it's like 30%, which is significant. And then tech, layer 2 optimism and loopering, looking for network effect, not locked into one ecosystem, which I like. If you are diehard Ethereum and Ethereum gas fees never resolve itself, then you need to look for other options, guys. So investing in a protocol like Rari Capital, where they are willing to move blockchains, move layer 1 to layer 2 quickly, and they are making that a priority to develop those solutions. That's what you want to look for, because say ETH 2.0 is not implemented for years or 2 years. I mean, that's significant time value, which you could be onboarding retail or other customers to their platform. So Fuse, I say Dingle money market, because why not? I might make a money market because, why not, guys? Customized money market. Deployer, which is cool. Tanks borrow assets to deposit in Rari pools, auto collateralized, like rebalancing. Built on Fuse, Moonpay platform to directly onboard retail. That is pretty much all the tech I've seen with them, but it's exciting, and I like Fuse a lot. Tanks, I'm going to have to use these to really comprehend their utility for sure. But we'll see. They're exciting, no doubt, but we'll see. Concerns, my couple concerns is not fully automated rebalancer yet. Exploits feels very likely with a young and ambitious team that's developing at a rapid pace like they are. So hopefully they're getting stuff audited, but still, as you saw with Cover exploit and a Pickle exploit, no matter if you have audits or not, it just takes time to really sit down and look over your code and make sure it's all properly formatted, etc., etc. So hopefully this young ambitious team does not have to learn the hard lesson, and we'll see. Not a lot of capital under management. 15 million is not a significant amount in the crypto world, although everybody's got to start somewhere, right? Not competitive APY yet, as we saw. I mean, it's 14, 15, and 0.33, which is not significant in the crypto world yet. And then that is all. Let's go to my price prediction. I think 10 million, 7 million, $70 million market cap is very reasonable in the near future, maybe 6 months out. Depends on their future development and implementation of their tech and their future tech and how onboarding retail goes, right? So we'll see. I am very hopeful. I like this project a lot. Very good team, very good tech, very good vector of attack of onboarding retail. I like all of that. I think this is a promising project, but it does have my concerns, and I need to use Fuse and tanks to really get a good understanding of the utility of that tech, right? So, but that is all for today. If you enjoyed this content, if you learned something, I hope this was of value for you. Like and subscribe, as well as join the Discord. We talk all day long. His Telegram is also in the bio if you want to join that. And then finally is my Twitter. We have Dingle and my personal in my description. Go check that out. But that is all, Dingos. Peace out and dingle dingle.